Hi, my name is Daryl Phillips, and this is a bipolar perspective. Presented to you by Noir Apologia Gaming. And like, subscribe, share, follow. All the links down are below. Especially share. You know, we just got over the holidays, and everybody's going to go back to their life, and you know what happens, and people just forget that. You know, people are all giving during the holidays, and they feel like it's necessarily or so forth and so on. And I'm not telling you to give away your stuff and so forth and so on, and nor am I telling you to support somebody, but encourage people to be better. Encourage people. Get them to my website, bipolarize.net. And when you go there, it's a work in progress, just like I am, just like we all are. And that's why I designed it the way I did, because I want you guys to see the work in progress. You guys can do an analytical point of view about how I'm doing it with all of this stuff. So today's subject kind of fits right along with what I just said. Understanding consequences. I asked myself a question a few days ago. If I had known the work that it would have taken to do all of this stuff, would I have done it? And I think the answer is no. Isn't that crazy? But now, every time that I cross an obstacle, and I smash through it, or I find a way around it, or I figure it out, and it's not an obstacle anymore, it just makes me want to go to the next one. I didn't understand consequences when I started this, honestly. Sometimes we never do. The video about assessing risks, that video, the risk was worth everything, because what do I have to lose but to help people? I have a lot of knowledge about, for one thing, about mistakes. I have lots of mistakes in my life. And there are consequences to every decision you make, good or bad. You go look for a job, it might be no, it might be yes. There are consequences to that. You decide you want to cheat on your wife, you want to decide you want to cheat on your husband, there's consequences to that. Those are immediate consequences, though. And that's what I want to make sure is very clear. There are immediate consequences where, like, you do something, like when I lost my son. If you guys have watched any of my videos, you understand that I walked into a liquor store. But let me tell you the process of this. I took my son. I allowed something to affect me so deeply that honestly, the mother of my child said to me, and I took it so bad. And I walked into a liquor store. 1, I bought the liquor. 2, I walked out of the liquor store. 3, and I decided to drink it before I got on the bus. 4, and 5 was the consequences. I lost my son. I haven't seen him since he was 9 months old. I talk to him all the time, though. I mean, I pay for his phone and so forth and so on, but I lost all that time. 17 years. Can you believe he's about to be 17? Oh my God, I'm old. Anyway, so, sorry. It's that realization where you just, yeah. So, check this out. Consequences. I'm not necessarily talking about those kind of consequences. I'm talking about the good kind of consequences, mostly. The general idea of there are things that you do right now that can affect your future. Okay? Every single mistake that you make, every single good decision you make has a consequence to it. You have to learn how to get by it, or go back if you've gone down the wrong path for a second. Making mistakes, in fact, can be good for you. I'm not telling you to make mistakes. You should not try to make mistakes. You try to make the decision right the first time around, and then you won't have to worry about it, right? And in that realization, you're going to realize, okay, so how do I understand what happened to me, whether good or bad? Okay, there is always a few steps that happened before the thing that happened. Like the example I just gave you with losing my son. There is no one in the world that regrets that more than me, because I lost more than my son that day. I lost my soul. I shattered myself. That was a consequence I did not realize. Yeah, the police took my son away, and that was bad. But then I allowed it to affect me so deeply that I literally was drunk the entire month of December after that. I don't remember hardly anything of that because, and then I couldn't deal with life after that. I was shattered. That's a consequence that I did not expect. It's a consequence that we never expect. We don't think about, what if I make this decision and it affects this person over here? I try to do my best to make decisions for me. I mean, you do have to make a decision for yourself, but I'm trying to help people. And so when I speak, I'm very careful about what I say. I'm not trying to offend you. That's why I don't talk about the Bible and things like that. I hint around, you know what I believe in. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I'm a Christian. That's what I believe in. So, but that's not what this is about. Okay. So even if you're an atheist and you don't believe in God, or you're another religion and you don't believe in my God, you're going to have consequences to your actions, whether good or bad. Everything you do, I promise you. When I was shattered like that, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. And it took step after step of still making mistakes, and dumb mistakes, and just trudging. And it's ironic because next week, my business partner, he comes out with his first poem. Okay. And it's called The Summit. You should watch that video if you want some inspiration, because he is so good at poems. And, Dwan has his own journey to follow, and that's why he's not necessarily as much on here as I am. I'm going to be on here mostly for now. He's working on his stuff too, and he's not as far. He'll tell you out of his own mouth, he's not as far along as I am. He's not. He still does some kind of ignorant things, because the difference between me and him is he never was taught. He never was told he was good. He was never told that he was a good person. I mean, well, a good person he was told, but he was never treated like a normal person ever. I mean, that's craziness to me, because his mind is so beautiful the way he speaks. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm serious. He's an inspiration, and he has cerebral palsy, which makes it even better. It's just, what an amazing guy, right? He has his own consequences to deal with. He spent 15 years, the same amount of time, and back the exact time that I was trying to change my life, he was spending his time with somebody that literally stood him still. Didn't progress him at all, didn't help him at all. When you have a significant other, a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, or girlfriend, and they are just sitting there and they're not allowing you to be forward, they're not allow you to think forwardly, that they would rather sit down on their butts, and maybe you're not that kind of person, you better, if you're married, you're kind of too late for that. I'll get a divorce. Well, I'm not going to tell you what I think, but I don't think that's the solution. But the point is, before you get married, I'm talking about really, before you get married to somebody, or you live with somebody, if that's what you choose to do, I'm telling you now, if they're not, that's a consequence you will regret forever, because they will hold you still. There are people like that maybe in your life right now, not just boyfriend or girlfriend. There's friends, family. Family does it, where they hold you still and they say, you should be satisfied with the life you have. Yes, be satisfied with the life you have, because you never know when you're gonna go the way of the dodo. And so this was never going to be that long of a video. It's just something that needs to be talked about. Does that make sense? You think about, when you're thinking about your steps, you have to think of multiple multitasking. It's really the biggest way to multitask ever, because you're talking about your life. Those things are things that you can prevent sometimes, a lot of times. And so when you're walking down a path, it's like when you're walking down any path, if you don't know the path, you're going to be very wary. if you're running down a path you don't know, it's kind of risky, and I mean really risky. Now, unless you have something that's more perilous, like someone in danger or something. But this subject was never going to be that long. It's just something that needed to be talked about. It's just something I came up with because I don't think a lot of people understand their consequences. I don't understand. I don't think they understand that their decisions, every decision you make, you have consequences. Everyone has good or bad. So, with that being said, may the Lord of Light guide you in all things.